This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Weapons of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the purge. All other weapons are restricted. Government officials of ranking 10 have been granted immunity from the purge and shall not be harmed. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. when the purge concludes. Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.
Oh, that's right, folks. It is me, Christopher Pelton, the mad scientist of media, here at THC Limitless. And I got the opportunity today. I had some free time, which is unusual, but I had a little bit. And then I realized that the Correspondence Dinner was tonight and that President Shitgiven would be attending after spending a good deal of his time trying to be the enemy of the press. He has said some outrageous things. They are poisoning the blood of our country. It's just absolute madness. And it is the kind of thing that the dictatorships and despots, this is where it starts. He said, oh, I don't want a comedian performing at the White House Correspondence Dinner. There's always been a comedian, but not now, because the President of the United States, the person that was voted in for by all the, I'm a big MAGA person, is too fucking afraid to face criticism, let alone jokes at his expense. So we're going to be checking in periodically with the dinner to see what's going on there. And let's take a look.
Jake, you with us?
Good evening. Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Please go ahead.
Just saying, so looking forward to seeing President Trump attend the dinner. And while he's not a journalist, I believe he, for so many millions of us, embodies many of the principles of journalism: courage, dedication, and relentless pursuit of the truth.
We got our first idiot already.
In the face of adversity. So I just think it's fitting, appropriate that he'll be at the dinner.
And Mike Lawler, Republican of New York, member of Congress, is there. He's been invited to the dinner as well by a media organization. And Mr. Lawler may have a pretty potentially tight race in 2026 for his re-election effort. His 2024 race was quite close, and it's looking, again, to be quite a close race. Lorraine, Conway, South Carolina, independent line. Hi, Lorraine.
Hello. I used to be a Republican, but I kind of turned my back on the party because I don't feel that they support Trump the way they should. They're just a step above the Democrats.
Really?
There's too much corruption in Congress, too much insider trading. I think Trump is the only hope for this country. I have 5 grandsons. I want to see them be able to have jobs, to be able to buy homes and raise a family. And I have one who's in the Army, and he's very proud to serve for President Trump.
Thank you, Lorraine. In Conway, South Carolina, Treasury Secretary Andy Besant is there in the center of the screen, as we learned, and with Stephen Miller. We learned that Secretary Besant was invited by the New York Post to sit with them at their table. I do not know who Stephen Miller is sitting with. It could be the same, but don't know. We didn't
He's
find
sitting
that
with the rest of the
information out.
deputies.
Next call is Ross in Portland, Maine, Democrat.
Lord.
Hi.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for taking my call. This is Ross from Portland, a very proud Democrat, and quite frankly, disgraced by how Donald Trump treats the press, by calling them fake news, by not taking women's calls. It is a disgrace we have going on in this country.
Oh, yeah.
So, Ross, that all said, will you watch the speech?
100%.
Because he's going to lie. Let's watch the speech where the dude is just going to lie through the entire thing. That sounds like fun, doesn't it?
He hopes he'd be self-deprecating, but the reality is he cannot take a punch. And it's sad, but I've been watching since I was probably in my teens, and I'm 66 years old, and I look forward to this evening every year. and it's disgraceful that he hasn't done it. This is the first time in his 2 presidencies he's done it, and I'm up to see. I'm keeping an open mind. Put you that
Why?
way. How about that?
Why are you
Thank you,
keeping an
sir.
open
There
mind?
is
The dude's
Director of
gonna lie.
National
We know this.
Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard on your right in the black dress, and that is Erica Kirk, who is also at the dinner this evening. The blonde.
Now, why do you think she would be there? She's not a reporter. She's not a member of the press. She is, from what I can figure, it would appear that there's something going on between her and the couch fucker. But until we actually have evidence of that, there's not really much I can do. But I'll tell you what, it's we're going to go ahead and kind of mix things up a little bit. It's not going to be just watching that, because what are they going to say? He took away the right, or not the right, but he took away, I don't want a comedian playing there. What are you so fucking afraid of? The dude is fucking, it's absolutely insane how fucking snowflake, fucking like the thinnest skin I've ever seen in my life. And how do we know this? Well, because this dropped a week or 2 ago, and he's just getting schooled, man. He's just getting schooled.
Person center.
Now, there's a number of those videos that have come out, and personally, I applaud the musical effort. The beats are really good. Ooh, boy, oh howdy! It is a little warm. All right, well, let's check now. You know what? Let's take a commercial break, or kind of a commercial break. This is just me hyping the cool shit that my friends are doing.
Can you believe it's been 30 years since the reign of terror inflicted by the infamous carjacker Mike Rivers, known as the Jacker?
He's coming back!
I gotta go.
Trust me, you don't know who you're fucking with!
Bad judgment.
Don't bother calling or coming here anymore.
That hurts. I thought we had something going.
Leaving behind a trail of devastation and despair. Countless lives were lost, and those who attempted to apprehend him were met with tragic consequences.
Feels like old times.
When will this end?
Hello, Dennis.
What do you want?
I had a dream, a nightmare about you, the jacker.
Just put the gun down.
Don't stop for the strain. Keep on going. Better drive on by. Better drive on by. Better drive on by. Better drive on by.
Who the hell?
All right, man. That is some good stuff there coming out. One of the things I love about what I do is the fact that I get to meet all kinds of interesting people. I get to work with all kinds of folks who are, involved in different aspects of the creative world. And I dig it because art should raise questions. Whether they're good questions or bad questions, or not that I think there's really anything like a bad question, an ignorant question maybe, but I don't necessarily know if there's a bad question. But let's take a look and check in with our friends over here who don't really seem to be doing too much, but let's take a look.
Steve, Houston, Texas, Republican. Steve, you with us?
I don't think Steve's with us.
I'm excited to hear what President Trump has to say tonight at the Correspondence Dinner. I am 61, almost 62 years old. I have been voting since I was 18 years old. And I can say that I have never voted for a Democrat. Even if there was one person on the ballot that was a Democrat, I would never vote for them.
Wow, you're a dumbass.
I am a combat veteran, and I'm excited to hear what President Trump has to say tonight.
Hey, Steve, you're calling from Texas very quickly. You voting for Ken Paxton or John Cornyn in the Senate down there?
John Cornyn.
Thank you, sir, for calling in. We appreciate it.
No, we don't.
Well, we've learned that the travel pool has arrived. That is the pool of reporters that travel with the president, come rain or come shine 24/7, wherever the president goes. And this again goes back to 1981 and the Reagan shooting when they did not have the press, the traveling press there. And they have arrived. So that means that the president
they're just more targets
has arrived as well. The pomp and circumstance opening of the dinner should begin in just a few minutes. And we're looking at live pictures from the Washington Hilton
I feel
ballroom.
a use of
seating capacity 2,000, but I'll bet
taxpayer money on this one
people
tonight, my friends.
Skip, Waldorf, Maryland, independent line. Go ahead, Skip.
Skip.
Yeah, thank you for taking my call. As a Navy veteran and a former member of the Fourth Estate, I've seen this event many times. I've actually attended it as a working journalist. And I'm hoping tonight that my colleagues do not wear these pins, because journalists are not supposed to be part of the story. Now, yes, I am offended by the remarks that President Trump has made towards members of the media.
Yeah.
I think it's very small of a person that does things like that.
He's a very tiny man.
As journalists, rise above that and not.
But they don't, because this is not journalism. Okay.
We are not supposed to be part.
All right, look. This is not journalism the way that journalism should be. Okay. What I don't understand, one of the things that confuses me the most, and I was talking about this earlier today, is that the boomers, the baby boom generation, they grew up, their parents fought the Nazis. All right. Dad went to war, mom, sold bonds or did whatever. They fought Nazis, right? Actual Nazis. The whole Nazi thing. This is where it started from. And then my parents' generation, they went through Vietnam and civil rights riots and all of these different things to improve the lives of minorities, of women, to make America an equal place. That was the goal. That was the plan. And it confuses me now because they should be the ones who are fighting for, freedom, the freedoms that are being taken away. We're going to leave abortion up to the states, because nothing possibly could go wrong there. It's just there's so much bullshit, and it boggles the mind, and I don't understand where the change happened. I guess maybe in the 80s. They say a lot of times, I've read over the years that the children of the 60s grew up to be the yuppies of the 80s. And maybe that was it. Maybe at that point, money became an all-consuming factor, and they didn't really give a shit after that. But it just seems so strange to me because as Gen X, people are like, well, why doesn't Gen X care? Blah, blah, blah. Well, because we were raised under very different circumstances. We were raised under a threat of nuclear war. You take a look at the 80s and that whole thing. I mean, we were kids then, the towards the end of that generation. And, that was a very real thing for us. We were latchkey kids. We went home by ourselves after school to an empty house. In the town that I grew up in, when I was in the 5th grade, there was a horrible incident that occurred where a young girl who was 12 was abducted and murdered as she walked home from school. So that fear was very real to us because it happened in our neighborhood. It happened, behind the school that some of us went to and that some of us were going to be going to. That fear became very real because it actually happened. Now, the problem with today is the fear is manufactured. It's not legitimate. If you're like, oh, Iran can't have a nuclear missile. They weren't going to have a nuclear missile. I don't know how many times we have to repeat this. It wasn't going to happen, at least not in any kind of a timely manner. But for some reason, somebody let fucking grandpa hold the remote control, and it's fucking utter chaos. He started a war that nobody asked for, that there was no need for, that he now surprisingly has no idea how to get out of because he's a fucking Nimrod and he has absolutely zero fucking knowledge of foreign policy or how to deal with people outside of a, how much can I rip you off for business type that he's best known for. So, he is he the worst president ever? Without hyperbole, I would have to say yes. And it's not because I find him to be a revolting, disgusting human being who the very thought of touching makes me want to gag. I wouldn't even shake the dude's hand, okay? Just the idea of whatever that is that's living on his skin, no thank you. I really don't need that. It just, no, absolutely not. And, as I've said, the Iranians are having a really good time making him look foolish. And I got to say, and this doesn't surprise me, folks, because if you look at your history, you will see that every time the U.S. has gotten involved in some kind of regime change across the world, inevitably, it comes back to bite us in the ass. We trained and armed Saddam Hussein in the 80s to fight off who? Who? That's right, the Iranians, who then later became our allies, kind of, when we were at war with Iraq, who trained bin Laden to do what he did and Al Qaeda to do what they do? Well, that would be the CIA, because we trained them to fight the Russians that were invading Afghanistan back in the 80s. Sure enough, comes around to bite us in the ass. And this happens all the time. Look at your history when you team up with radicals, okay? And I'm gonna say, I am not saying that all Muslims are radicalized, not even remotely close. There's what, 700, 800 million Muslims on the planet, close to a billion. They're not all radicalized. All right, if they were, we'd be fucked. But it's very easy to radicalize someone when you see your enemy blowing up a school for children. Like, how many people who were in the middle, of the road on the whole thing with Trump, how many Iranian citizens were radicalized that day, or driven to rise up against the United States because the United States blew up a fucking school with children, 140, 160, like a whole bunch of fucking children, blew it up. And we're expecting the Iranian people to thank us? No, bullshit. And once again, AI saves the day.
We are having very great negotiations with Iran. If Iran doesn't come to negotiate, we're going to bomb them.
2,000 years later.
So where are the Iranians?
This is from Iran.
All right. Then I will extend the ceasefire at Pakistan's request.
It's not even like real life, that's the crazy thing about it, is it's so ridiculous that it could be. I mean, you would think it was a comedy. I mean, that's how fucking utterly ridiculous this whole thing is. All right, let's check in with our friends here and see if the ass kissing has begun yet.
Part of the story.
Hey, Skip, I apologize. You cut out right at the beginning. Have you attended the Secretary Pete Hegseth talking with Presidential Advisor Stephen Miller? Next call is Barbara calling in from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, independent line. Hi, Barbara. Hey, Barbara, how far from Mar-a-Lago are you in Palm Beach Gardens?
Oh, about a half hour.
A half hour. Okay. All right.
I think. Right. I'll be brief. I was taught not to lie. And if I did tell a little lie when I was a child, I better confess and tell the truth. My question, I guess,
better than how I was raised. I was raised to tell to hell.
There is proof in the news that some of what the journalists or the TV journalists have said or that have been denied, have been proven wrong. Mm-hmm. I'm a little nervous.
Why?
I don't usually do this. But I was wondering, lots of people are concerned about questioning what will President Trump say. I'd like to know, is any journalist at all going to admit and apologize for the lies that they told? I'm not interested in having
Okay, which journalists are that, though?
Mea culpa. Just say, we were wrong, we're sorry, and apologize.
No,
and
they're not fucking children.
And that's about it.
Barbara, thank you for
calling you're an
in
idiot.
And voicing your point of view.
The reporters don't fucking have to apologize to the president like they're fucking children.
Seated,
all right, most of the
in the House,
lies that you say aren't fucking lies.
There'll be the presentation of the colors. There'll be the band playing. There'll be the Pledge of Allegiance and a welcoming from Wei Zhejiang of CBS.
Sure. So that's probably going to cost the taxpayers about $500,000.
Good evening to you.
$500,000.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I just want to let you know that I've been watching your sister station C-SPAN 2 most of the day. And
Aren't those
hopefully-
addicting? Once you start,
Oh my God, yes.
I do the same thing, and I've seen them maybe 50 times each. And every time I watch one of those old speeches, I'm just, reminiscing and laughing. It's fun.
Oh
Sorry.
my gosh, the best ones are the best speeches, I think, were given by Obama, Bush, and
Bush?
Yeah, Obama and Bush.
Bush
Those
Senior,
were the
maybe.
best.
Yeah,
going back in
they were really quite good.
Obama was
really
Oh my
quite
gosh,
good.
was an
yes.
excellent
They were
statesman.
funny,
He was an
but
excellent
yet, at the
statesman.
end,
He was an excellent
these
public
gentlemen
speaker.
had the dignity to
and
say,
he could make you believe.
They preserved the First Amendment.
Bush
freedom
Jr.
of the press.
I mean,
and
I never
hoping
thought
that
I'd long for the days where Bush
Mr.
Jr.
Trump will
was
do
president.
the same. Even though
But that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes, I suppose. So yeah, let's see here. Bum, 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 bum. There's a bunch of people standing up. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 45th and 47th President
I
of
would
the
give
United
everything
States,
I
Donald
had
J.
to
Trump,
see somebody
and First
throw a
Lady
fucking
Melania Trump.
roll or piece of bread or piece of fruit or something, anything. Like everything I have. I would shut my mouth for the rest of the time. Oh, it's Mumbles. We love Mumbles. Her documentary was right on the edge of bullshit, but it was right on the edge. Oh, you're standing there clapping for them. Uh-huh. Oh, Lord.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the nation's colors presented by the Joint Armed Forces Color Guard, and please remain standing for our national anthem.
Yeah. Anyway. So here's the president. This is the first time that he's attended the dinner. He didn't do it any of the times in his first administration. And this is the second one of this administration, but this is the first one that he's attended. He's made it very clear that he doesn't want a comedian involved in the evening in any way, shape, or form. So I figured, what the hell? If I can't bring the comedy to the shit gibbon, then I'll go ahead and bring it to everybody else. This is, I love this. This is a lot of fun. And I want to give a quick shout out to the folks over at Really American Media. You guys are doing a great job. And I thank you for providing this information, this content, because boy, there's some funny shit in here. So be sure to check them out. They are on they're on YouTube, Really American Media, and good stuff. No bullshit. They come straight at it with the truth, and that's what we got to do in this day and age, my friends. So let's go back to the 80s, just in a weird kind of way, shall we?
Where's the uranium? You build the boom boom with spare parts. You send the drone sky high when a bombing starts. You stop the ships from passing through. I said if you block me, then I block you. Let's make peace and then hug it out. I'll even tell you where the aliens hang out. If you play along with it, I'm not pissed. All I wanted is for people to forget that list. Open up the Strait of Homo, 'cause oil is up and down like a yo-yo. Open up the Strait of Homo, yeah. Let the ships go through. And let me deal with the Jew. Yeah, 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 baby. Hey there, mullahs, let's not fight. We'll continue tomorrow night. Let's just put all those nukes away. BB's crazy and MAGA's dead anyway.
All right, all right. It's a little scary, him in shorts, but he wears shorts, from time to time, and it's kind of creepy. Um, so let's jump to another commercial, and we'll come back and we'll check and see what's going on with. I don't even know. I don't know if it's pointless. I don't know if it's going to mean anything at the end of the day. Who knows?
This is an invitation. This is an invitation.
Hey, you want to say something really scary?
Tell me, what use is there for a butterfly with no wings?
And I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder. One of the four beasts saying, "Come and see." And I saw, and behold, a white horse.
Obey.
Please help!
Run. Obey. The eyes of a fool have blinded with pride. Now the devil is knocking on your door.
We live in a world where society has poisoned the souls of men. And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. We're coming.
Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the Shadow Hat Society is on its way, and when it arrives, we're going to change the entire game. All right, let's see what's going on. Whole lot of nothing. I think it's kind of funny that they
guests
put it at a
at
Trump
White House
hotel.
Correspondence dinner will eat, and this should last about an hour and 15 minutes. And after that, the program begins. We'll show you the room from time to time throughout the evening until the program begins. But we're pleased now to be joined by Karen Bohan, who is a
Wow. Okay. So they announced the start time at 7 o'clock. It's 7:30. All that's happened so far is that he showed up, whoop-de-doo, and that they're having dinner. So the dinner's going to last like an hour and a half or some crazy shit like that. So I ain't got time for any of that noise. So I don't know, guys. It's a weird world we find ourselves in now. Everything has a political bend to it. Everything has a religious bent to it. And it's just, it's people isolating themselves, or sticking to their tribe, whatever the fuck. I mean, I get it, but we have to be able to. No, you know what? Fuck that. We don't have to be able to, because here's the thing. All right. It's been 10 years since, it's been 11 years, almost 11 years now, since that orange shit gibbon rode down that goddamn escalator. And the minute that he did, all shit hit the fan. And, we started, right from the jump, right from the very fucking beginning. Oh, well, they're rapists and this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, really? Like it was like saying hello and then saying, oh, by the way, these people are evil. The guy's a fucking jackass. He's also not right in the head. And here's why I say that. Because in my world, two very important things happened on May the 1st, 2011. The first one was that I married my wife. The second one was, wait, that can't be
It was so easy. I terminated that, and then the B-2 bombers. And I did one other thing. I had killed Qasem Soleimani, who was an evil genius. And the reason I did it, I heard he was going to knock out 5 of our military bases. And had he lived, I believe we would be fighting perhaps a different Iran right now, because he's never been replaced, you know. And I did one other, but this one was not picked up. Osama bin Laden. If you read my book, I said you got to take him out 1 year before the World Trade Center came down. So I wish you'd read the book.
Now, I don't remember that happening that way, but he sure does. And that's part of the problem, boys and girls. God, I can't, I mean, we know that he's a narcissist and we know that he's an egotist, but I don't know if that's the excuse for that. Like, he wasn't in office when they got Obama. He hadn't even announced his presidency when Obama got bin Laden. But now, oh yeah, I took him out. Really? Look, man, I make no qualms about it. I smoke a lot of weed. But even in my drug stoupees sometimes, I don't remember that ever happening. But the sad thing is that there are people out there who now believe that because he has said it. And guys, you would not believe the nonsense that he is, that he gets these people to believe. They don't question him. And I swear to God, I mean, you could present a pie, an apple pie, and you can say, this is an apple pie. And everybody's fine with the fact that it's an apple pie, unless Trump says, no, that's not an apple pie. That's a peach pie. Then a certain percentage of Americans, despite having seen the pie, knowing that the pie is an apple pie, will now change their point of view on and their whole opinion on that pie because that guy said so. And folks, that is scary. And that's the kind of thing we have to look out for, because it has been said in the past by some very terrible people, the bigger the lie, the more people are likely to believe it. Paraphrase. But clearly this is true, because clearly we're like, look, I understand faith, okay? I'm not a particularly religious person myself, but I understand faith. I understand people's need to believe in something to help them through the difficult times in their life. I totally get that. It's all good. But I know your book. I've read your book. I used to teach your book. And this guy is not a Christian. And the people that follow him like that are also not Christians. And that's something that they're going to have to deal with eventually. Because, and this is the other thing, it's not happening in 2028. All right. He will not be on the fucking ticket. He will not be on the ballot for anything. 2 terms. That's it. And there's no one to replace him. because no one has whatever it is, this weird ass hypnotic power that, that this jackass seems to have. The couch fucker's not going to do it. You're my best guess would be little Marco Rubio, but I have no respect for Marco Rubio, because if Trump called my wife ugly, I'd punch him in the fucking head. But little Marco just bent over and fucking took it, and now he's the Secretary of State. Who are you going to put in? Who are you going to put in as your next big candidate? The fucking drunken jagoff fucking this guy? Part of my problem with the people in this administration, and take away from this what you will, but there are so many of them that look like fucking date rapists. Like, I can see Kash Patel at a college, frat party. I can see that. I can see the couch fucker at a college, party. These guys look like, are they actually? I have no idea. I know that our Secretary of Defense has fucking Nazi tattoos, and that was acceptable. I mean, and I understand Trump's a racist. We know he's a racist. The courts proved he was a racist back in the 70s. All right, so we can put that shit to bed. There's no question about it. That is legally established a long ass time ago. But, you look at Kash Patel, and there's a perfect example of someone who had never gotten beat up in their life. The way he acts, the way he carries himself, you can tell. And then you can tell that about a lot of people, folks, by the way they carry themselves. Mike Tyson said it best recently, or within the last handful of years. He said, y'all are getting too comfortable posting shit on the internet that would get you punched in the head in real life. Again, paraphrasing. But he's true. It's true. He fucking talks, these guys, they all talk in big game. But then they fucking whine and cry about the stupidest shit. Lauren Boebert, I don't understand how she still has a job. I'm not forgiving any of those people. I'm not forgiving Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care if she saw the light. I was damn near disgusted with myself the other day when I found myself agreeing with something that Tucker Carlson said. And the statement was actually pretty authentic right until the end. He had to fuck it up at the end, of course, because he's Tucker Carlson. So he's got to pull that bullshit that, Tucker Carlson is known for. But up to that end point, he was making some excellent points. And I was reminded that, yes, Tucker Carlson used to be a respected journalist. Now he's just, the head of his own sideshow. So fuck that guy, really. And as far as the rest of them go, boys and girls, you better start looking for jobs, because he's not going to save your ass when this whole thing goes down the fucking toilet. And the way things are looking right now, I don't even know if he's going to make it to November. I mean, his health seems to be in serious decline, rapid serious decline. I don't think that there has ever been an obituary more weighted upon than this particular asshole, because I'll say it, fuck it, I could give a goddamn. People are like, oh, people know negative things about, or made jokes when Charlie Kirk died. I didn't make any jokes. I didn't care. All right. I know who Charlie Kirk was. I know what he was famous for. And hey, look, you put yourself on top of a soapbox, you're putting a fucking target on your back, my friend. That I hate to be the one to have to say it like that, but it's true. But the guy got shot, and come on, can we seriously? He was assassinated. No, he fucking wasn't. All right, he was murdered. All right, let's keep this shit, because assassination makes you sound like you're way more important than you actually are. John F. Kennedy got assassinated. Martin Luther King got assassinated. That jagoff, he got shot by a fucking nutbag. And as far as his wife goes, boy, howdy, she stepped into that role really easily, didn't she? I think there's something else going on there with her. I think there probably has been something else going on with her. I think that if things continue to go the way that they're going, the fact that our vice president has an Indian American wife is going to become a problem. If we don't put the fucking reins on things, you're looking at a repeat of the past. You're looking at loyalty camps. You're looking at government, keeping an eye on you. I know it's kind of a cliche, but if you haven't read 1984, pick it up or watch the movie or listen to the audiobook, because really we're not there yet, but I can see us getting there, and that concerns me a great deal. So I got a buddy of mine, the great Tarek, or I believe he's the legendary Tarek now, longtime professional wrestler. Good buddies with my partner Frank on our wrestling podcast, and his band Clock Towers just released their first album, and this shit is tight. So here's a little ad clip for Ashes by Clock Towers, which is available now. Anywhere you can stream music, check them out. They are definitely, if you're into the rock thing, check them out. They're great. And I don't know why Tarek wants to look like Captain Spaulding, but good on him.
Clock Towers 2025. The clock is ticking.
If I could see behind your eyes, inside your mind, what would I find? If I could feel inside your heart, would it be love or would it tear me apart? If you could read inside my mind, you would understand that I'm not so blind.
All right. Yes, indeed. Clock Towers. Good stuff, guys. You got to check them out. And if you are a drummer or you know a drummer, the band is currently looking for a drummer to take on the road with them. So, if you know anybody or you are yourself a drummer, be sure to check them out on Facebook. Just, search Clock Towers and you'll be able to get hooked up there. And who knows, maybe it could work out. So let's go on to something else. We have got some amazing talent coming on board with us as we get ready to roll out the Shadow Hat Society and its programming. I've been talking to some amazingly talented filmmakers, musicians, writers, artists, people who live in that, work in that creative space and sometimes just need like an incubator, like they have this idea, they just don't know exactly how to get through it. And then being part of the group, we'll be here to help. We do marketing, we do advertising, we will be running a TV channel. We will have a film festival at some point. There's just going to be, book stuff. There's just going to be all kinds of stuff. Most of it, I'd say 95% of it, indie horror related. I'm not getting into bed with big studios over some stuff. Other stuff, I've seen some great indie horror films, man, and places that filmmakers that deserve that window to get their work seen, because you never know who is going to end up watching. Like for years when I was living still in Connecticut, my next door neighbor, his brother was the director of the movie Creed. And I was just like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. So you never know, who's out there. You never know what they're watching, when they're watching. But it is my goal to help everybody get get eyes put on their projects. You guys work really hard, and you excel in what you do, and you deserve that. And the least that I can do, and yeah, I'm not a huge personality or anything like that, but I'm building a pretty stable thing here. Learn from the lessons of my past and what mistakes to avoid and how to avoid them. And yeah, so we're rolling along pretty good. And this next trailer here, this is from the movie Tape Me, which is available now, and it's from our good friend Chris Outridge over at CEO Films, and he is going to be one of my partners in crime in the whole Shadow Hat Society. So check this out. This is the trailer for the movie Tape Me.
I wanted to get out for the night, all right? You know how this shit makes me feel?
Follow my rules and prove to me that you are willing to do anything to earn the money you need to save your life. Remember that I am watching you.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt a lot. So yeah, Tape Me is available now, folks. It's good stuff. Chris is a good guy, and I'm looking forward to working with him in the future. We've had some interesting conversations, and I am really finding this team, and we're going to be great. We're going to be great. Speaking of finished products, we just recently released a tremendous book called The Program, and this is our ad for that. Alexander Manzoni, Jr., or no, not a junior, but an A, Alexander A. And this is a little look into the darkness.
Attention, people, listen. The first step to recovery is keeping an open mind and an open heart.
Hi, I am Horace, and I am an addict.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage, change the things that I can.
Hi, I am Zayden, and I am an addict.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things that I can. And wisdom to know the difference.
Hi, I am Terrence, and I am an addict.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things that I can. And wisdom to know the difference.
Hi, I am Clay, and I am an addict.
God, Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference.
Hi, I am Rondo, and I am a fucking addict.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference.
Folks, I got to tell you, it is a tremendous book. Alex did an amazing job on it, and I can see a whole lot happening in the future for him as a creator. So be sure to check that out. It's available everywhere books are sold. You know the deal. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, yada, 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 all those places. And, it is totally worth picking up because, and I'm not saying that because I published it. I published it because it was an excellent book. And that's the thing is don't ever get confused. If I publish a book, it's because the book is excellent. That decision gets made before I make the decision to publish. So we've got a couple of things left to run. This is, well, are you game?
Banded together from remote galaxies are a gathering of the most sinister horror creators of all time, the Shadow Hat Society, dedicated to a single objective, the conquest of the horror realm.
Test. In the old days, if you shot a government spokesman, at least you knew it would get on TV. There's more than one media outlet. They competed to cover news. Today, you gotta start with something the administration has to broadcast.
This is a message from the United States Bureau of Morality, pursuant to Statute 2412-2, Disclosure of Surveillance.
The Christians say,
Citizens, by calling this number, you and your family are implicitly pleading guilty to the consumption of anti-American media.
the Buddha says,
And have been flagged as potential militants. The United States Bureau of Morality has activated the tracking system embedded in your personal media and initiated citizen surveillance.
Confucius says,
United States surveillance law gives us the right to search and seize information relating to subversive activities from your person, vehicle, workplace, or home.
the Hebrews say,
Any attempt to hinder or prevent our investigation will be met with all
Step
necessary
2.
force. You are now
Deliver
part of the
the
problem.
message.
Your re-education is about to begin.
I got a job at the park as a beer
Islam
guy.
says,
Money. Hey, free beer? Can't pass up anything free in this country. Free this. I poured beer out of 6 of the mini cake size and put in a small explosive jar.
The question remains currently as we speak. I just left. We had another big day with them. They don't know what's happening. Remember this? They lied about 3 days ago. I said, yeah, we're negotiating with this. Well, we are not negotiating. They're being hit so hard. Anybody.
There you have it. The latest presidential address. America is born again. In this reporter's opinion, a brilliant, values-based...
Honest to God. Once they banned free elections, I figured at least we wouldn't have to hear this self-righteous motherfucker give any more speeches. He must just like doing it. America is born again. Maybe that was a values-based vision of the future. Maybe it was the same old manifest destiny bullshit.
Step 3, punishment. These people can leave America any place.
Still no formal charge. Listen, I know you're out there and you're angry, but you're scared of going to jail. Here's the bad news. The prison came to you, my friend. The bars are all around you. Y'all ready, criminal. Fucking act like
All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up for tonight, unless something crazy happens at the correspondence dinner, which I very highly doubt. That's how exciting could it possibly be? It's on C-SPAN. So we'll see you guys here and next time for, whenever these things strike me. Sometimes I'm by myself. Sometimes I have a delightful co-host. And either way, we'll see you guys in the very near future. Have a great night. Peace.